So, you successfully stole your mom or your dad's credit card, and you know exactly what you're gonna do with the money. You're about to sub to your favorite. Oh my god. What do you want? So, you stole your mom or your dad's credit card, and they don't call you to interrupt your recording. And you wonder, what are you gonna do with the money? Obviously, what you should do right now is go down in the description, go to my Twitch, and you should sub to me and donate all of your bits to me. Okay, never mind. Don't do that. Do not support insane people. Here's what you do. Spend your money on crowns. But now you're wondering, the sauce, what packs do I buy? Well, this is the guide for you, my mans. Let's get it, you damn credit card stealer. Guys, this list is going to encompass what I feel are the best packs to buy across levels. But before I even start, alright? Don't steal your parents' credit card. That was a joke, goddammit. But also, if you're less than level 50, my recommendation is that you don't buy packs, alright? The pack wands and the boots and whatever you want from your packs, they're only really, they only start becoming relevant after level 50. So this list is only really going to apply to the best packs after level 50. It's going to apply a lot more to max level, but the trend carries down all the way to level 50. What this isn't, it is not a crowns guide for levels 1 through 50. So if you guys want that, drop a like and tell me maybe, you know, if you want like the best gear for every school at low levels, because they differ a lot. And, you know, maybe I'll make that video. But let's get right into it, my mans. We're going to go through the 5 best packs in Wizard101 to invest your stolen crowns in, my mans. And we're going to start with the Gulchers Hoard. Now, the Gulchers Hoard is a very, very recent addition to the game, and it's good just for one reason, and one reason only. It really, really stands out. Now, this is going to stand out mainly for people who are level 60 or above, and it works really, really well for defensive playstyles. Now, when we're talking about the Gulchers Hoard pack, we're talking about the Persian boots or any variation of this for every single school. Why do I say you should get this? Well, look at the resist and look at the damage. It's incredible. You also get pip chance. You get a lot more health than most things will give you at that level. And you also get a very sizable amount of crit. And with block becoming less and less relevant, these pair of boots are much, much better than the Malster boots. You know, there's no comparison really when you consider that block is not as important of a stat. Now, here's the thing though. I'm only saying the Gulchers boots are really, really good for the boots. That's about it. The one variation I will add just to this, just for number 5 on this list, is that you can actually buy another pack to supplement your stats if you need to. And that is the Wisteria pack. Now, the Wisteria lore pack actually gives spells, but I mean, that's not, you know, they're not really that good. What I think the Wisteria lore pack is really is good for is for the boots as well. Just like the Gulchers. Now, if you're looking at, you know, which, you know, like, why are those boots really good too? Now, if you compare the stats of the Gulcher to the Wisteria lore pack boots, you notice that you get more health, you get a decent amount of resist. I mean, not as much, definitely. You get some stun resist, which is really cool, and you get about the same amount of damage. I don't think it matters that much that it's different. So, why are these boots better? It's because of the accuracy. So, there's some schools where, depending on your gear set, you actually might want the accuracy versus the pip chance. So, the boots, I would still say go for the Gulchers because, I mean, the stats, in my opinion, are just better. But an honorable mention, just for number 5 on this list, is going to go to the Wisteria's Lord pack. However, there are so many better packs to spend your crowns on, my mans, and we're going to get right into it. If you play a defensive lifestyle, this pack is the one for you. I honestly think that this is kind of a set that everyone should really have. Obviously, if you're a very offensive school, maybe like, I don't know, Fire and Storm, you probably aren't going to need this that much because it doesn't give that much health. But the Mysterious Jade set is an extremely important set for anyone to have. And if you have free crowns, I definitely recommend spending it on this, especially if you're Death, Balance, Life, or Ice. All of those schools, they will benefit a lot from having the Jade gear. Again, this if you have the crowns, obviously. But as you guys can see, they don't give that much health, but the resist is unparalleled. You will not get more resist than this. There are slight variations. For example, instead of the Mysterious Jade boots, you could get the Rockstar kicks. They actually give more resist, and they also give a little bit more block and a little bit more pip chance. You know, so there are variations on it. There's also a robe that gives a little bit more, depending on, you know, if you can get it. There are hats that also give a comparable amount, but if you're looking at just one set, you know, if you're looking at the one best set for resist, the Keeper's Lore pack is the one for you. That's why that's number 4 on this list. It's a very, very important thing to use whether you're doing 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s, or if you're just trying to quest and you need to be a good support, you know? It really helps to have a double resist pet when you have this set on. But as you guys can see, you can get to 80 resist almost like it's nothing. And 80 resist against most mobs will make you last a very, very long time. And that's why, in my opinion, this is one of the best sets out there to spend crowns on. If you happen to have them, or you just stole your parents' credit card. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Now, guys, we've mentioned boots, and we've also mentioned, you know, some more universal gear sets, but in all honesty, most of these packs, especially when it comes to gear, it's only really that good if you're going for wands. I mean, yeah, the mounts are great and all, but, you know, like, the mounts are great. You know, for example, I didn't even mention this, but the Gulcher's mounts, you know, they can give damage, you know, so the mounts can be really cool. And, you know, sometimes, if that's what floats your boat, that could be a great way to spend your crowns. But mostly, these packs are going to be there for the wands, you know? And the next 3 on this list are all about wands, but they're ranked like this for a very specific reason. The very first one is the Road Warriors pack. Now, the Road Warriors pack, this is number 3 on this list. The reason why I'm putting it so high up is because it gives a lot of crit, a lot of pierce, and a lot of damage, and there's a square slot. Right now, the square slot on this wizard isn't being used well, but square slots can actually break or make your game. Alright, if you have healing opals in there, or if you have a stun resist jewel, you can increase your stun resist or healing to a point where you could actually, like, overpower your stats a lot. Now, the reason why this isn't farther up the list, that square slot is only important when you can actually use those jewels. And it doesn't really apply, you know, after a certain level, you know, like, jewels are only powerful after, like, level 95, maybe level 75, so they're not as useful for lower levels, but in my opinion, the square slot is something that really, really, really makes this a very special wand. That being said, the Road Warriors pack also has the incredible mount. I don't have it on this wizard, but it gives 50%, as you notice, all these mounts give 40% increase, but the Road Warriors mount gives 50%. So if that's what you're into, it's a great thing to do. But yeah, I mean, if I were a high level, I would definitely invest in this. But the reason why this isn't as useful is because lower levels don't really get as much out of this. And that's why this is almost exclusively a high level pack to seek after. I would argue that until recently, what's number 2 on this list would have been number 1, you know, pretty easily, you know? And that's because when this wand first hit the Crowns shop in the form of a pack, it took people by storm. This is back when I think Wizard101 was at some sort of peak, you know? And I truthfully do think that if they really wanted to, they could bring so much life back to the game by creating a balanced wand like this again. And the reason why this pack wins number 2 just for the wand is because it applies from level 50 all the way up to level 120, you know? And it's really, really interesting, but basically, up to level 110, the Fortune Teller's wands actually have pip chance that's given to them. And then after level 110, you know, like 110 and up, they give pierce. So it looks like there's a little bit amount of versatility. One downside, they do not have the jewel slot, so that is an important consideration to make. But there's some schools that don't need the jewel slot. Like for life, it's and other healing schools, very important because you're healing, and that 5% or 6% extra could really, really help you. But you know, this is just a great wand. The drop rate, in my opinion, from my experience, is much higher from the Terror's Hoard than it is from any other pack. So that's why this is number 2. It's very accessible. This is, if you are starting PvP, or if, you know, even if you want to just quest more easily, this gives you some of the most balanced stats that you could possibly ask for, and it gives you a mate cast that can like literally hand you the game. It's 1,000 free damage for 0 pips. It's extremely overpowered. Not to mention, it's a mate cast that actually does cast a decent amount of times, unlike some of the other wands. Some of the wands have a mate cast that's almost non-existent. So this is why this is number 2. The Terror's Hoard pack also features a really great mount. You know, this is a Road Warriors chopper from number 3, but you know, there's also it has a cool terrors, you know, a terror mount. You know, it's really cool. So I definitely recommend. You know, if this is one of the first crowns spending things you should go into. You know, when you have the crowns, you stole your dad's credit card, and you're like, I got to spend my crowns before my dad catches on, you know? I recommend number 2 as one of your first choices, and that is a Terror's Hoard. You will have extremely balanced stats at all levels, and it has a decent drop rate. That's an important thing to consider. Compared to the Road Warriors wand, much better drop rate, and that I can vouch for. Guys, before we get into the top pack of my choice, you know, of my opinion on what to spend your crowns on, let's go over some honorable mentions that didn't make this list, but are still notable because they actually contain things that are very cool. One of the main ones that I'm sure a lot of people are wondering why it's not on this list, it's basically the Harrowing pack. And basically what the Harrowing pack is all about is critical. There's a lot of things in it that give a lot of crit. The wands are insane for critical. As you guys can see, if you're going for crit, this is a wand to have, and this is a pack to invest in, you know? So why do I think that it doesn't really belong on this list? One, it's a very seasonal pack. It doesn't just come out all the time, and it's only good for questing. This isn't really something that I would ever recommend for PvP unless it's just as a meme. So it's good. It's just not for this list. You know, it's a more situational type of joint. You know. The next honorable mention is the Wyvern's Hoard, and this one is an honorable mention because it doesn't really apply to either questing or PvP. It's for energy gear. So if you guys have ever seen people walking around in their little tree costumes with like 180 to 200 energy, it's because they basically spent their crowns on the Wyvern's Hoard. It's a really good pack. If you're going for energy, I definitely recommend that. The drop rates are not that good. However, if you're going to be playing this game in the long run, you're going to want energy gear. It helps you a lot, especially training pets and maintaining gardens. All kinds of things rely on even things like fishing. You know, energy is a really important thing to maximize in this game. So that's definitely one. And finally, for the last honorable mention, this one is probably unexpected, but the Eye of Bartleby pack is a very good pack. And I don't think a lot of people know this. Like, this isn't necessarily something I think you should spend your crowns on, which is why it's not on this list. Again, I want to clarify that this is not the type of you know, pack that you're really gonna want to spend crowns on. It's only 115 crowns. It's not that much, but do not spend too many crowns on this. The reason why this is really nice is because it gives 1 pip dispels, enhanced versions of every single TC you could possibly get, 480 versions of fairies, 45% versions of bubbles. If you guys have ever wondered where all the special treasure cards come from, chances are it's from the Eye of Bartleby. It's a very decent pack. It's not that bad. You know, if you have a few extra crowns and you just, you know, you don't know what to spend it on and you have everything from this list, that might be something just to look into. You know, maybe you can get some really cool TCs. Pretty useful, very situational, which is why it's not on this list. Now, guys, for number 1, this is, in my opinion, the best pack at the moment in Wizard101, and that's because it applies across levels, and it is, my man's, the Professor's Hoard pack. Now, this is the only pack I've ever seen that comes with a pretty functional hat. Look at this hat. Very powerful hat. I mean, does it give resist? No. But it's still a very good hat regardless. You know, like, obviously resist is something you'd want, but if you look at the stats on it, even at max level, I could see people using this. The boots are absolutely amazing. As you guys can see, I have 2 versions of the boots right up for you guys. What they're really good at is that they give school resist, which is, you know, I think they should bring that back. It's really interesting that they have, like, Storm having 4 extra Storm resist, Balance having 5 extra Balance resist. That's huge, y'all. That's, like, a really powerful increase. They give more crit than any of the other boots, and they give consistently more health across the board, except for Storm, I believe. And they give pretty decent resist, you know, like, you know, the accuracy. Look, they give accuracy and the pip chance, my bands. These boots are really good. The only downside, in my opinion, is that they don't give as much resist as the Gulchers, and they don't give as much accuracy as the Wisteria. But, like, these are consistently amazing boots to have, and what's really nice about them is that the drop rates are very generous. Additionally, there is a wand that comes with it. I don't really have it on any of my wizards because I never actually ended up getting it, but it gives a lot of pip conversion, gives a square slot, gives a lot of damage, gives a good amount of crit. The downside, however, is that it's not really that powerful. Like, the pip conversion is notable, but that's about the only decent stat on it, in my opinion, compared to the other ones that you can get. However, just for the fact that it's such a good drop rate, You get so much. I mean, you can dress up as your favorite teachers even. You get school mounts. There's so many things that you can get from this pack. Having so many good things in one pack really maximizes your chances of not wasting your crowns. That's a really important point to consider when you're spending your crowns. Where do I have the least risk of losing my money, you know? Or your parents' money in case you stole it. But yeah, guys, that's the list. Tell me if you agree. These kind of videos only work when you guys comment on the video telling me your honest opinion. If you disagree, I would love to know why. If you agree, let me know what else you want to see my opinion on, and hopefully I can help as many people spend their stolen crowns as possible, you know? But yeah, guys, actually, I was joking this entire time. The best pack in this entire game is clearly the Emperor's Attic pack. If you have 60,000 crowns, I 100% recommend spending all of your crowns on the Emperor's Attic pack. It's life-changing, dude. Like, look at all the furniture, my man. It's like, come on, man. If you don't spend all your crowns on the Emperor's Attic pack, you just don't know how to play Wizard101. That's all it is, yeah. You know, that's all it is. You know, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't spend money on the Emperor's Attic. Like, honestly, I think I'd judge you more if you spent crowns on the Emperor's Attic joint than the crowns for gold. Because that's a scam. Don't do it. Alright, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me, guys, if you want more of these top 5s. And if someone hasn't told you awesome today, they doing something wrong. So stay awesome, bruh. So if you're doing, yeah, you.